All right. Can everyone hear me? Is my microphone still working? This is my first YouTube Live, in case you can't tell because I don't know what I'm doing. But hopefully you can all hear me okay. If you can't, type in a comment, something kind of nice, not super. Anyway, yeah, so hopefully you can all hear me okay. Thank you for joining. I'm going to try. I'd like to start doing these YouTube Lives once a week if I can, unless I'm so depressed after this one that I don't want to do anymore. But anyway, so when I was looking on Twitter, I was noticing that people were saying there was this link between the two suspects, the one in New Orleans and the one in Las Vegas for the attacks, and this Fort Bragg link. And I didn't see any real. I was trying to find like a legitimate source I could look to. Sometimes when I've gone off and gotten excited and quoted something from Twitter without fact checking, I have gotten bitten before. It's kind of like when I don't fact check when I tell my wife that I can fix the sink. I mean, she finds out that I can't really. But the positive thing is we both know where the water main shut off is now. So anyway, so I'm big on fact checking. So I thought I'd actually dig a little bit to see what I could find out from sources on what kind of connection these two suspects have. And I have to avoid using the word with the T, the T word, because whenever I use that word to describe Islamic radical, you know what I'm talking about, YouTube demonetizes my video and will hide it. So obviously the one in New Orleans, that's exactly what it was. But if I don't use that word as much, that's why YouTube slapped me around for it. So I have some slides here. Let me see if I can share them. Okay. All right. So I started off by doing some research on Breitbart and looking at an article on Breitbart. And so I have some quotes from each one of these sources so that you know I'm not just making this up. So Matthew Livelsberger, he is accused of renting a Cybertruck in Colorado Springs, driving to Nevada and packing it with firework mortars and gas cans before exploding it in front of the Trump International Hotel in Vegas Wednesday morning. That is the one suspect we're talking about. And then Shamsuddin Jabbar, he is the one who's suspected of plowing through that crowd of New Year's partiers in New Orleans that I think killed 15 people. So those are the two folks that we're talking about. And I have some notes on my iPad because I'm trying to make this as complicated as possible. So anyway, I'm going to be following on both of those. Okay, so in this same article that I was looking at, the outlet said that the men were Army veterans, adding late Wednesday, multiple informed sources told Denver 7 Chief Investigator Tony Kowaleski of the link between the two suspects' military service. So that is the first time I saw that there was some link being made from a news source that I could look to. And this reporter, he tweeted, this is a tweet from him, an X post, from X. Breaking, sources also confirming Livelsberger served at the same military base as the terrorist responsible for the attack in New Orleans, and authorities are investigating a possible connection between the two men. That is from a Denver station. Okay. Let's see. And then here's a couple of pictures of the guys. So the New Orleans guy, Jabbar, is on the left, and then you can see Livelsberger on the right. I think that the picture of this New Orleans guy, I think that's from a YouTube video. He looks a lot happier in that YouTube video, right, than that slide one. Let me go back to that. Yeah, he doesn't look too happy right there. Sorry, that was a distraction. Okay. All right. let's go down here. And if there are any comments, questions, I may not know the answer, but you can certainly type away, comment away. So this is from the Post. So I didn't get any more information out of that article from Breitbart. So I did a little more digging, and I went over to the New York Post, which had this article about the link between these two men. Both men behind Wednesday's dual suspected terror attacks in New Orleans and Las Vegas previously served at the same North Carolina Army base. Shamsuddin Jabbar was assigned to the Army's 82nd Airborne Division, which is headquartered at Fort Bragg, now Fort Liberty, in 2013. According to a Facebook post by the division's 1st Brigade combat team leader in November of 2013. All right, so we've got the New Orleans guy, Fort Bragg. What is that, 2013? That's when he's there. Okay. Oh, and there is some confusion about Fort Bragg and Fort Liberty. Like, why are they both referring to the same thing? Yes. Fort Liberty's name was changed from Fort Bragg on June 2nd, 2023, as part of the Biden administration's effort to rename military installations named after Confederate officers. So I guess it was offensive, and that's why they changed the name. What was there? Like, there had to be, 4 people who even knew who Bragg was? And these 4 people all happened to work for the Biden administration, and so they told another 4, and so they went through this huge pain of changing the name. Anyway, that's why you'll see Liberty and Bragg both be throwing around. Okay. All right. Okay. Sorry for that little tangent on Fort Bragg, Fort Liberty. I'd like to see him just change all the names back. When Trump gets in, I just want him to go through, change all the names back to what they were, honestly. Okay, sorry for that rant. It was out of control. Sorry. That's what happens when it's live. I lose it, and you just, oh my word, I can't take it. Okay, so next one. Okay, this is to Las Vegas. So the Cybertruck bombing suspect, Matthew Livelsberger, was an active duty Green Beret when his rented Tesla truck exploded at the entrance of the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas hours after Jabbar's attack. To become a Green Beret, as he did in 2006, soldiers must attend the John F. Kennedy Special Warfare Center and School located. I have to keep reading off of this one because it's getting blocked on my other one. Located at Fort Liberty, meaning he would have been there at least that year. So, I mean, to me, that's looking like that's going to be off. They're not going to be there at the same time, right? Because we've got like 2013, I think, and then 2006. But they were both at Fort Bragg. Did you guys see that, though? He's a Green Beret. The Las Vegas guy is a Green Beret. And I would have thought the Green Berets would be better at building explosives. Let me go look, because I think the explosives in Las Vegas, wasn't it like some fireworks and gas cans? Let me go back. Yeah, so packing it with firework mortars and gas cans. So that let me get back to the Green Beret guy. So that was the Green Berets building of an explosive. That sounds a lot like my 4th grade science project, to be honest. I don't know. Does it seem odd to anyone else that a Green Beret would be using gas cans and fireworks? I don't know. That seemed a little weird. From all the movies I've watched, usually it's some cool looking, putty looking stuff. Anyway. Okay, so that is the Las Vegas guy. He was at Fort Bragg, but it looks to me like they're at different times. Okay. Oh, also, so he did live in North Carolina at the same time as Jabbar, but he was in Charlotte, which was about 2.5 hours away from Fort Liberty, according to his LinkedIn profile. I didn't check out the LinkedIn, but that's what the post says about where he was. Are there any comments that we should be looking at? Sorry, let me look at some comments for a minute. Replace the statues that were removed. Yes, I'd like to see all the statues back. Oh, thanks, Christine. I am nervous, so thanks for saying that. Have I looked into any foreign news sources? I haven't seen any foreign news sources on this. I do like Sky News Australia, though, and I have looked at their stuff a lot, but I haven't seen them on this particular issue. Let's see. Here's, let's put up this one from Lazarine 1. Sorry, I think I messed that name up, but Matthew also took his own life before the explosion. I think I did just see that he had I think it was a bullet to the head, so he was not alive, right? And I believe that I did read that same thing, that it actually was before the explosion, which I don't know. I don't know. It's again, that's kind of a weird fact to throw in there, that that if he was dead before the explosions went off, I don't know. Like, that's weird. Plus the fact that he's a Green Beret, and you would have thought that, again, the explosive device he would build would be a lot better than, what a sixth grader would do. Sorry, that's okay. But anyway, great point. Thanks for pointing that out. Let's see. Yes, suspicious, very suspicious. Let me see, anything else here? Okay, all right. So we'll go on to the next slide here. Let me try to get myself caught up on this side. Okay, now the FBI said Thursday, which that was today, that there's no known connection between the Cybertruck blast and the New Orleans attack, despite them happening hours apart on New Year's Day. Now, is that the same FBI that initially said President Trump wasn't shot by a bullet necessarily? Because if it looks like there wasn't a connection and then the FBI said there wasn't, that makes me pause and think, wait a minute, there must be. Usually whatever the FBI says, I assume that the truth is somewhere the opposite of what they're saying. So if I was thinking they weren't connected, then when the FBI said that, I thought, wait a minute, maybe we should look at this a little bit closer. So anyway, not a lot of trust with the FBI, for me anyway. Okay, let's see here. Oh, and another fact they pointed out was that Fort Bragg is one of the largest military installations in the world, with a population of roughly 52,000 military personnel. So I did a little bit of research on this, and there were a few U.S. military bases that were bigger geographically, but the research I did looked like Fort Liberty did have the most active duty members out of any other bases in the United States. So it's big, which means probably people in the military, there's a much higher chance that they might be at Fort Bragg at some point, just because it sounds like it's the biggest base out there. So I guess when they go to party, maybe they go there. Like Fort Liberty is so big, they actually have to have several venues for their drag shows. Yeah, most bases can just have one, not Fort Liberty. They have like 4, and just hopefully that'll stop. Okay. All right, let's go to. Okay, I did even more digging. And I did go over to Newsweek, which is not one of my super trusted sources, but I did look at some Newsweek stuff. Because my first looking at those sources, it looked like they didn't actually overlap at Fort Bragg, so they wouldn't have ever served together. But I saw this article from Newsweek, so I thought we'd just see what what they're saying, just for kicks. And this was in Newsweek. Las Vegas Sheriff Kevin McKill said both were stationed at Fort Bragg in North Carolina. It's a very large military base. We have no records they served in the same unit or even in the same years, he said. So my math was somewhat correct on that. He also confirmed that both served in Afghanistan in 2009. We don't have any evidence that they were in the same province, the same location, or the same unit. Again, something else that remains under investigation, McKill said. So again, it doesn't look like there was any kind of connection between the two suspects, according to what Newsweek has looked at as well. Let me see if I have any notes over here. Does anybody else think it's a little weird? Let me go back to that FBI thing. I thought this was a little... Does anybody else think it's a little weird that the FBI was saying there's no known connection between those today? I mean, it was January 2nd. Wouldn't they want to just wait before they made any conclusions so they actually had some time to talk to some people and do some research? It did. I don't know. I just thought they should say, we're looking into it and we'll get back to you. But they quickly said there's no known connection. So, okay. I thought that was... It would take a little bit more time. Just pretend that you're taking more time. You don't have to actually take more time, but at least pretend you're taking more time. Okay. Let's get back down to... Okay, I think this is where we were. All right, let's take a look at any comments. Let's see. Kathy, no one will ever trust the FBI. I agree with you. Their reputation is in the toilet. Big time. It's going to take a while to clean it out. Michelle, absolutely. It's a complete mess. Yeah, Michelle, well, the rot in the government goes so deep, it will take a while to clean out the rat den. Yes, absolutely. It's going to take a long time. I don't trust any of the alphabet agencies that we have. Neither do I. They're... It's crazy. They keep proliferating too, which is insane. We keep getting more and more of these 3-letter agencies that control everything. It's out of control. Oh, here's another good comment from I'm so sorry. I'm sure I'm destroying your name. Lasso Lorene 1. They use the same app to rent the trucks. I did see that. Man, do you have the name of that? It's like a short name, I think. But yes, I also read that they both use the same service to rent the vehicles. Okay. Yeah, Kash Patel can't get there soon enough. Yeah, they better confirm him right away and get him in there because he's, yeah. Okay. Orange cones. I like that. Orange cones. Oh, and that's a cool little graphic for your name. Turo is the app. And that's from Orange Cones. All right. Okay. Let's go to the next. Oh yeah. Do you guys remember this guy, Ryan Routh? He's the golf course shooter guy. Does he look like he would have a horse living in the living room of his house? Because he did. Do you guys remember that? He actually had a horse living in his living room. So that's kind of what I think about when I see him. But anyway, on social media, it said that he had visited Fort Bragg 147 times. And I did a little bit of digging. I could see a lot of references to that on social media. And I was trying to dig into that and find some other sources to give me the 147 number. I didn't see anybody really disputing that he had visited Fort Bragg 147 times. So I'm assuming that's true, or at least he visited Fort Bragg a bunch, which seems, they say he wasn't in the military, right? Which is just odd why he would be going to Fort Bragg. Is this like the Las Vegas for anybody who tries to do evil, bad things? Because if so, we should start taking names of anybody going to Fort Bragg. I mean, if that's what it. But anyway, it's also weird that this guy had all that connection with Fort Bragg. I tried to find some other sources on that. I couldn't find a lot, but this number was thrown out a lot with Mr. Ryan Routh. Okay. Let's see. Mr. Ed. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Ed was in his living room from Spark Swain. Excellent. Excellent reference. Let's see. Jojo, why does he have breasts? He does. They're kind of hanging down a little bit, aren't they? And if he just would have put the shirt down a little bit more, let me see if I can show that better. I just feel like, yeah, why didn't he just there? Can you see? But anyway, his shirt just is almost covering him. Like he just should have pulled it down. That's so immodest to do that. Like I never do that. When I pull my shirt up, I keep it right here because I don't want to embarrass anyone. Okay, so that's that guy. It was, let's see, Johnny. Yeah, let's see, Johnny from Johnny Quest. It's odd how fast Ryan Routh disappeared out of the news cycle faster than the Vegas shooter. Yeah, it was crazy how quickly the media we're not going to talk about that anymore. I mean, the Ryan Routh especially. He was in news for, I swear, 5 minutes, and then they weren't going to talk about him anymore. Sija Tanner. Yeah, I didn't notice his moves before. And now you're never going to not see them. Every time you see him, even with his shirt on, you're going to see his man boobs. Sorry, but that's what's going to happen now. I apologize. I've destroyed every time you see him. Okay. All right. Let me see here. So I think this might be the last slide here. So anyway, is there any connection between these two suspects that they have? This is definitive. It's totally no. My opinion, based on what I've read, because they didn't overlap at Fort Bragg, and because they didn't seem to have any overlapping in Afghanistan, I didn't see any strong connection between these two. Also, just in the way the crimes were committed, the guy in New Orleans, the Jabbar guy, clearly just, Mr. ISIS psycho trying to, kill as many people as possible. The Las Vegas Livelsberger, that I just forget his name, but the Las Vegas guy, and there's a lot of symbolism in that. He had a Tesla truck in front of the Trump Tower in Las Vegas. That honestly seems like that was hatched by some crazy far left progressive who just wanted to send some kind of delicious symbolic message. To me, they just seem kind of different, the way that the crimes are committed. But I'm not an expert, so I could totally be wrong. But anyway, that's my opinion, just based on kind of what I've read so far on these. But I will keep my eye on it, and if I see anything else on this, I'll certainly let you know. So anyway, let's see. I think that's it. We'll see if we have any other final questions. Let's see. Orange cones. Both will meet their 72 virgin male goats. That's good. I won't comment, but that's awesome. Nice job. Horrible visual. Yes. Chris Fisher, does anyone see my posts? Just curious. Yes, we're seeing those. Somebody's asking against my next event. So I'm going to hopefully be doing these YouTube lives every Thursday night at 10 Eastern, 8 Mountain, 7 Pacific. I hope I didn't screw that up. But I'm going to try to do these once a week on some current event, which I can dig into a little bit more and have a little bit more material on. So hopefully every week I'll be doing this. And if you can join me, I would love to see you again. So anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. And until next time, we'll see you later.